Alright, come check this out. So the landlord gave me permission to mess around with scrap, and you can see I already got everything kind of put together for what I want. Take this somewhere a little more peaceful where I can work on it. This will be fine. It's a good chair. Alright, so what I'm thinking of is using this 90-degree as like the locking mechanism, and just to like have it so I can like flip it out of the way. So I don't know how I'm gonna do that, but I do want like some kind of locking mechanism over this guy. What I'm gonna do is take this bar, beef it up with tape, and put it on the inside of this guy. It does have a natural stopper that I'm gonna have to fix with tape. It also has a natural spring inside. So let me take this apart real quick. Pop goes the weasel. So that's taken care of. Pop that head off. Now we should be able to get this out of there. Okay, need this guy. And that stopper right there. That's important. Trying to get away on us. Got a piece of electric tape stuck to me. This tube is very clean. You guys can't see that, I guess. So that sucks. But what I want to do is cut this shorter and cut this bar shorter. And this bar as is makes a really nice handle, but that needs to be cut shorter too, because there's no way I'm carrying this giant thing around in a pocket. And I got to clean this out because it stinks. I'm gonna have to also cut our spring down a little bit, because that's just way too much spring for what I want to do with it. So all this is gonna have to be worked on, but basically what's gonna happen is this is gonna go inside of here, and I got another stopper on this end, so I can run this through the top. So anyway, this way when we throw it out, we'll have all that extra metal inside to keep our expandable baton from wanting to break or bend or warp or fall over. So I've never made one of these before. I just saw the shower curtain and I was like, dude, let's go for it. You know, I've seen another guy do it, and then I saw a guy do it with PVC pipe. One guy did it with like, I don't know, he went to the hardware store and hooked it up. So I want to make it like just out of whatever I can find, and this is what I could find with some kind of a shower rod curtain that seems pretty durable. So that's one of my goals today, but I gotta clean this pipe out because it smells half past death, and we gotta go. It's time. It's time to clean that up. That smells just way too bad on the inside of there. I don't know, it's like rotten rust. I don't know if our locking mechanism is gonna work, but that's all I could think of, was just to have something 90 degrees over the top that could be moved out of the way. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about right now. So I ran into a problem, and that's that 1, 2, 3, number 4, that's where it fits into my pocket comfortably. But we line that up with this guy, and we're gonna go down to that length. So hold on, let's get that lined up and go 1, 2, 3, 4. It's about right there. So we're gonna bring this down to here. You guys can see that isn't a whole lot of baton for self-defense. I mean, maybe it is, but that just don't feel like a whole lot of baton for self-defense. But you know, whatever, maybe I can figure something else out. I kind of want to go to the next one up. I mean, it'll still fit in my pocket and give me just that extra little bit more length, but just barely. I mean, it'll be sticking out, so I don't know. So I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm just going to use some simple tools for these guys. Even for the bar, I'm going to use a triangle file and scribe around it. It's going to take a lot of time, but I don't have a cutoff wheel for my angle grinder. I would have this done really fast. So I'm going to use the pipe cutter. You can see I got a big chip in the tooth. That's just what I have to work with. So I'm going to go around this and remove it. Hey guys, how's it going? So I cut off that small section, and it wasn't nearly long enough. So I went with something just a little bit longer. I don't even know if that's forearm length, but it feels like, oh yeah, that's about forearm length. A little bit longer. So you can see where it starts to stop right before my middle knuckle. Now I'm just kind of lining this guy up. So it might not be perfectly pocket size, but dude, it feels like it's going to do the job. And removing that little bit of weight, I just looked at that other half and I was like, wow, dude, this might be the way to go. So that's what I'm going to do with that. I'm measuring this out so I can cut off this other half with the tubing cutter. So what I'm doing is I'm fitting it up, and what I'm noticing is there's too much spring. Compromising too much spring means compromising length, so I don't know how much I need to remove. Okay, so this is the end that shoots out. Don't get confused by the little cap on here. That needs to go against our spring, so that's necessary. This is the impact cap right here. So anyway, what I did was I took a hot glue stick and I rolled it around this guy just to kind of build it up to make like a little stopper. This is already a stopper, but now we have two. So that's just going to help with the whole device. I almost don't want to put a spring in it because I love how quiet that is. And then it seems to want to sit on the tape buildup that I put on it and kind of stay locked in place just a little bit. Enough for you to do a hit, definitely. But the spring's going to allow it to do that a little better. And you can see that I wanted to put a 90 degree on here. I'm trying to figure out how to do that with this coat hanger. But I end up with this kind of extension with the spring. So it's just going to be really hard to figure that out. Got everything assembled together the best that it could be. So the hard part is going to be figuring out a lock. I got the bar on the inside just like I told you guys I would. And you can see that it's at a pretty decent length to be a thumper. So it's got a very nice weight in this bar. Having that iron rod wrapped in tape to build up space. So it'll definitely knock the stupid right out of somebody. But now I just got to figure out some kind of locking mechanism release. I was thinking about cutting a groove, bringing something down here so that it can shoot out like that. But I don't know. I'm going to get online and I'm going to try to figure out some kind of trigger mechanism. I also thought about doing like a bolt action. My fear that is if I do a bolt action, I might lose the whole damn thing. So I don't know. Unless the bolt is right up here. And the slit is just right there on the side. So I don't know if that's going to be able to even hold, but it's not a bad idea. The downside is I'm going to have a little tiny bar sticking out from up here. So that might be a pain in the ass to deal with too. I don't know yet. When I was loading this guy and taping it down and using the spring, it kept hitting me in the balls and it punched me in the face and it was blowing up everywhere. So that wasn't working out. I realized somehow the lip on the inside looks just like this lip. It can rest on the piece of metal in between the rubber stopper here. And that'll keep it from coming out until you manipulate the action by just, you know, fiddling with it. Got to rotate it a little bit and that'll get it loose to come out. And it doesn't really lock in place. It locks in place with friction. That'll kind of stop it. And then I guess you're just kind of using potential energy to just kind of knock the bad guy out. So it'll still kind of work as an expandable baton. And I'm happy with it, especially considering that it was made from garbage. But this spring thing, crap, this is over with. I had enough of that thing. So before I completely end it, I'm going to tell you where I was. I had this guy, and that was meant to go over top of our stopper. The stopper was longer because of the spring, but eventually that's what I wanted right there, was something that I could pull back and it would release and let this guy come out. Because I've seen a couple that work like that. I also seen a couple where I could have used the pipe cutter to do that too. Had like a ridge, and then you had something on here that would pull back and allow that to shoot forward. So it's just a little bit above my ability right now, so I just wanted to make this as simple as possible, and that's just how it is, guys. So I ended up with an expandable baton nonetheless, and it'll definitely rock a bad guy's world. Boom. So the other thing I want to do is I'd like to take a little piece of ceramic spark plug and put it at the bottom of this off to the side. That way, if you have to make entry into a window, you can hit it off to the side just like that. So it's not stiff enough where like you're gonna be able to like stab with it or anything unless it's in the closed position. I guess in that case you could still put the ceramic on the top, but I still have to worry about things blowing out the bottom. So you could still put the ceramic on the bottom. Bam. But it's meant to be. It didn't swing out that time. It's meant to be a side thumper, a little temple thumper. That's what it's for. A limb breaker and a temple thumper, using that potential energy to swing into the bad guy. So I think it ended up working out pretty damn good, guys. I think it's a curtain rod, or I'm sorry, I think it's a shower curtain rod. So I don't know. Not a bad piece of material though. Ooh, that time it flung right out. Cool. That's really good. I would hate to get hit at the business end of this. I wrapped it up in some duct tape and electric tape, but yeah, that's a pretty heavy little point right there. It's not going to feel good at all.